OST 24/7.
OST 24/7.
You watching OST 24/7. Let's get it.
Coach, first year here, the program, kind of give me your take of what you've seen so far and your expectations going into this year.
I think it'll be an interesting year. I'm really excited for our team. Obviously everyone knows that we lost a lot from last year, but I think, we have not only a lot of youth, but we do have a lot of kids returning from last year's team that are eager and ready to step up. And I think when you have those two combinations, really anything can happen. You don't have to really rely on central players to produce every night, because we can really, score or rebound or get playmaking from really anywhere. So it could be really like the next man up, or several people, any night. So I'm really excited to see how we gel together, and I think there'll be a few kinks to work out, but I think overall it should be a good year for the Lady Panthers.
How many stars back from that team? How many stars?
I believe there was like a rotation, but what, 2, 1, 2?
How have you tried to get the players into your system and get them involved through the summer, through film session? How have you tried to incorporate them into your game plan?
I think for the most part I've relied heavily on the returners from last year, and I think they've done a really good job in terms of leadership, of buying in and doing the things that I've asked and wanted them to do, and I'm really proud of them for that. I think when you come in, change is always hard, but they, for the most part, they're really eager to work hard and do whatever you ask them to do, and that, I'm the firm believer that whenever you work hard, great things are going to happen, and that, to me, has been the best and the most important thing in this transition going forward. So, whatever our system is, it might not be our system in January, just because you don't really know in high school, like the league, because there might not be a kid that was there last year there now, so you kind of have to just feel everybody out. So I'm the kind of coach, I'm going to do whatever it takes to put our team in the best position to win. So if it doesn't work now, I'm not going to be stubborn and continue to do that. If we have to change it in January, we'll change it in January. So it really just depends on what they do when the lights come on, if it works. But they work really hard, and like I said, I think that's the biggest thing for our team.
With making the transition from to high school from college, kind of talk about that and how much being in that college atmosphere, has it helped you, in this role here?
I think there's a lot of things in terms of high school to college that you could point your finger at, but I actually really enjoy the college atmosphere. I think the toughest part of transitioning to high school is the whole teaching part, and then going to practice, because you have to focus, and so at times it gets frustrating, with your players. But you can also understand, because you have to do the same thing too. You have to teach all day and then focus in practice. But I really do enjoy the high school setting. You hate to say it, but the kids just seem a little more eager to learn, and they tend to work a little harder. Just because in college they've already gotten to that pinnacle. They're already there. They got their scholarship, whereas at high school they're trying to achieve that. And so I really like it at this level. It's something I wish I would have done a long time ago, actually.
But this is your first head job?
Yes.
Talk about the excitement of that, putting your stamp on the program.
It was never really my aspiration to be a head coach. It was just kind of a path that I think, through my faith, the Lord just kind of guided me to. And, you know, I think on a mission trip, I think the pastor told me, never say what you don't want to do because you'll end up doing it.
Right.
And when I got this job, that's the first thing I thought about. So, you know, I think each day's a new day, you know. It's a learning curve for me, just like it's a learning curve for the players, you know. And I think you have to keep an open mind in terms of, you know, your philosophy and, you know, seeing what works and what doesn't work, and go from there.
Now you're second generation coach, right? Is that right?
No, sir.
Oh,
No.
Look at the players, Amber. Just you being an upperclassman, just what do you see of the makeup of the team, and how do you think everyone's incorporating themselves into the new coaching staff, new players, and everything like that?
I think everyone's pretty open-minded about it. When we have a different coach, basically it opens up a lot of opportunity for new things to happen, for better things to happen. And I think that our coach, Coach Lee, can lead us in the right direction if we choose to listen and communicate in an effective way with her. So.
What about getting the adjustment from her coaching style, from Coach Sloan to, you know, has it been
the coaching style hasn't been that different. It hasn't been really drastic to where it would be detrimental. I just think it's pretty. I think it'll work.
Obviously, y'all experienced some success last year. I think second round of the playoffs. Kind of talk about, you know, that carryover into, although it's a different team, but, you know, that carryover into getting back to that point.
It makes me really excited. I really want to get to the top. It's just something that I really didn't come in actually expecting when I was in my freshman year, but now that I've been so close to it, I actually really want it more than I ever have before. So, and I think the whole team feels that way, especially Madison, who is there. So yeah, and Nikki too.
Yeah, I was going to ask you too, Madison, talk about that, you know, getting back to, you know, back to that point, to the postseason and stuff, kind of, and how you feel like the team has been gelling, you know, through these last couple of weeks of practice.
Well, it being a different team, it kind of is two different feels. But last year, I was going through it as a freshman, so I was kind of I was in the backseat, and I was seeing how things work from the starter position and the backseat position, and it was nice. It was a good feel, in game, out of game, getting to that point, and everybody doesn't get to do that as a freshman, so I think it was a good opportunity. And I think now I feel like I have the mind and knowledge to know, you know, how much it takes to get there and to be able to carry that over to this team.
Nikki, with you, I mean, I know you played between JV and varsity last year, and got now talk about having to step up now as a varsity player and replacing, you know, some of the players that graduated.
I think it's going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge that I'm willing to accept. Well, I have no other option, but I'm going to take the challenge, and I'm going to like follow in Kennedy's footsteps and hope to be as big of an aspect as she was to our team, and like take on big men on court. Like, I hope I can just fill that position to what they need.
And Coach, just how important will the early part of the how important is the non-region part, the early portion of the season going to be for you? Just finally getting the players on the court against an opponent and implementing your schemes and plans.
I think that our non-region schedule is actually really huge, just because we actually did not have the opportunity to compete during the summer, and because of that, you know, our non-region schedule is the first opportunity that our players will get to play together as a unit, and you know, you get to tinker with things and see what works, what doesn't work, what rotations work, what rotation doesn't work, and you know, just to get a feel for them and them to get a feel for you inside the game, and two, I mean as well, the reality is sometimes when the lights come on, certain players just step up that you don't normally see in practice, and so you just get an opportunity to see, you know, what pieces you have that you don't necessarily see on a daily basis, and you just kind of put that all together. You know, we have a tough non-region schedule, so you know the reality is we'll take some hits, but I think with that non-region schedule, it'll prepare us for our region schedule, because there are some stout opponents in there. But if you put yourself in the fire early, late in the season, you learn how to win like in the beginning so that you can prevail during region play, because you know that's what you want to do. You want to win in region. You don't want to peak early. You know, you just want to start steady. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So let's play these tough opponents and test ourselves, and learn how to win. You know, learn what works, what doesn't work, and hopefully we're there in the end.
Who do y'all scrimmage?
East Paulding.
When is that?
Next Tuesday.
Where?
Chapel Hill.
And the 6 o'clock start?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One last question here. Kind of talk about, you know, Chapel Hill's had a pretty, you know, good history for us girls basketball and stuff. Talk about the challenge of, you know, keeping the program up there and everything. And
yeah, I mean we've had a rich tradition, you know, but the reality is, you know, our kids know that, I know that, but you know, everything's a process. You know, at some point, those before me, they had to come in and do their work, and we're just going to take it one game at a time. You know, one practice at a time, one possession at a time, and however the cards fall, that's how they fall. You know, I think that with the bunch of kids that we have, this is their opportunity to put their stamp on it. You know, like this is the era of Coach Lee, and so therefore this is their opportunity to set a new tradition. And I feel as though with the leadership that we have and the character kids that we have, I think that it'll be a rich tradition. Will there be bumps in the road? Will there be obstacles? Absolutely. But if we persevere, if we hold ourselves accountable and we keep working hard and we're consistent, I think the tradition, you know, will carry on, and it'll be a rich one, and hopefully we can, you know, catapult it to new heights. I would love to see more region championships up on the banner. I would love to get to a Final Four and maybe a little further, but we're not going to get ahead of ourselves. You know, we're not going to chase ghosts. We're going to worry about today, and then after that we'll worry about the next day, and we'll worry about the people in our squad.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.